Good morning, solar dragons, nurturers, beings of nurturance. We are nurtured, we are. Cryon often says one of the most difficult things for many humans to do, in as much as it's a doing, I don't know, but to do is, or to accept is to do, to be loved by God, by the divine, whatever we call it, just to receive that love, worthiness, our sense of worthiness. Somewhere we've learned we have to earn things to deserve, to deserve. Some models of thought or some mathematics or whatever, when you crossing dimensions, the maths doesn't hold. I listened to a fantastic clip yesterday about, it was explaining the difference between, it was about quantum cognition. And it was explaining at length the difference between quantum cognition versus logic. A particular kind of logic, I suppose, or logic. And to find out that human decision making doesn't follow the laws of logic. We irrational logic, rational, whatever. We are irrational in our decision making. And it's not irrational in terms of without meaning or logic. Of course, scientists then always seek where is the logic in the non-logic, I guess. So what is the reason for this? Always looking for the reason. This clip was so fantastic. I mean, I don't know how they get made. It's not surely a fully AI thing. There must be humans feeding that information in. But the eloquence is mind-blowing. And the ability to break down quantum concepts into a language of the layman. I don't blame quantum scientists. They live in that language. If I talked purely Tzolk'in, anyone not in the Tzolk'in wouldn't understand a thing I'm saying. So we have to break it down and make it understandable and practical and applicable, since it's about us. I mean, if a nuclear scientist explains nuclear fission or fusion for the purposes of building a blah blah blah, that doesn't have to be explained to the layman. But if it's about like how do you generate your own energy, how do you convert prana into your own life energy, that wants to be understood in terms that you can understand. It wants to be explained in terms that you can understand. Where am I going? The computations for this rational decision making, they don't work in the quantum field, but in the quantum and quantum cognition, and so often. But the elegance it explained. I mean, it was really selling the notion, but it did it. First of all, it explained it along quantum cognition dynamics. It juxtaposed it to the other, which didn't really hold for a lot of the time. And then it married the two. It didn't say, well, if that isn't, but maybe then that is. I don't know how I'm saying. It really was forming this complementary relationship in the most elevated scientific way, which says we have this and then we have that. What if not either? What if, like we understand both are right within their own field, and then like marrying or like cross-seminating, cross-inseminating, cross-pollinating the theories. It took it a step further. It was really such a delight to listen to, such a delight. And when we, in our minds, learn, not in our minds, but in our lives, I mean, where is mind and life? It's a fluid transition, and as much as between three-dimensional physics or mathematics, it's a very, where does the quantum field start? I mean, it doesn't. It is everywhere. Anyway, so let's stay practical, Tatjana. We learn something we have to deserve, yeah? Good behavior gets you a cookie. Bad behavior gets you some punishment. Keeping it very simple. Good behavior, good learning, the right answers, good behavior, good grades equals good grades. And then we learn logic and So this we learn social behavior. And when we, I suppose, if we have an image of the divine, like a parent, and Red Dragon is very much a mother energy, but it's very different to, it's a quantum mother energy rather than a judgmental God or where you have to be deserving. Or abundance, our abundance. We're in the Skywalker wave spell, so abundance, the abundance wave spell, Blue Knight, walks with us on parallel. To believe our belief systems, and I'm just on the one deserving. Hard work leads to results is another one. Effort, without effort, you don't get there, is another one. No, they hold true obviously in some areas, but do we have the ability to really, if we go into the quantum field, if we're quantum beings, and we do it every night, when we close our eyes and dream, we're instant manifestors. And when we wake up, we assume this. Okay, now I'm meandering off of this deserving. Am I done with deserving? It's a very deep point, and I wonder if we really have a software running. We don't deserve something. Self-worth. Some of us come out of fields, and I know people who have there's no the issue, self-worth and lack thereof is not an issue, doesn't exist. There's a clarity, a focus, this is what I want and this is what I go for. There's no lack of worth that closes a door to possibility based on I don't deserve this. And it's very interesting how the cosmetic industry or whatever, especially, I don't know, but yeah, for example, uses this advertisement slogan, because you're worth it. I said, it's like it comes really like give yourself permission, fill in the blank, to do, to have, to be, because you're worth it. Very interesting concept, whatever that means. If you aren't worth it, does that raise our attention to where we think we're not worth it? Anyway, Skywalker. There's another topic that came up. We're in the red dragon today, solar dragon, realize, pulse, intention. The solar tone, tone 9, is the cornerstone of the time pulsar of this wave span. This pulse between what we intend and we realize. I love this tone. A realization always gives birth to an intention, or more than one. And intentions are a guaranteed child and birth giver to a realization, and that's a pulse. It's a mother, we're talking proverbial mother, not excluding fathers. A mother gives birth to a child grows up, becomes a mother, gives birth to a child, grows up, becomes a mother, gives birth to a child. A concept is introduced into the field of possibility. It will in time become a reality. In time. That is the linear mind speaking. In the quantum field there is no time, so it is instantly a reality. I'm going to stick with the language of time for simplicity. So the concept introduced in time becomes real, and the reality, this is also what is reality, but never mind, the reality in turn gives birth to new concepts or new ideas. So perhaps that's the wheel of samsara, yeah? It's the wheel of fortune, it's the wheel of motion, of creation, of time, and time goes in all directions. It's not only linear, or not only linear in one direction. It's not really relevant, not really practical right now, I guess, but to realize I mean, this is how we live anyway. So while this wheel just turns, like I'm sitting in my truck, I get in my car, I know where I'm going, I turn on the engine, I start driving, everything goes, I arrive, I'm there. Once I'm there, I'm going to have an intention to leave from there and to go somewhere else. Another case in point, there's always an intention. Where am I going next? It's like, it's so logical. It's the most, this is how life works. It's always like, what's next? What's next? Every moment gives birth to the next moment. A depression is perhaps on one level, or one way to look at it is that like there is no forward motion. Perhaps conditioning, fear, whatever, has blocked that natural trajectory of energized, solarized, forward motion. Winter is not the same as a depression. Winter is a time of fill in the blanks before spring starts life exploding again, and then the expression, and then the relaxation period, and then the total rest, in which newness, the new birth, needs that rest period. And That's the in and out breath, the pulse, the realization. What gets inhaled will produce an exhale. Exhale will produce an inhale. That is an eternal engine. You can't even stop it. Cannot. I don't think you cannot. I mean, I don't know how much we can train our minds to willingly stop breathing. We probably can. Yeah. One needs a motivation for that. Stop one's life. Well, fair enough. If you have the wherewithal to stop your life on that level, you wouldn't willingly do so, I suppose. I don't know, unless the moment comes where it's like, okay, yeah, I'm done. Then, of course, sure, we resolve consciously into resolve into our final chord in this incarnation, and go back into the quantum field and resume a new form, where and however and whenever. Had a very interesting conversation yesterday and discovered a pattern of a little block or a hindrance or a stumbling stone. It can be as much as a bona fide hard-ass life block. It's a pattern. And the funny thing is, it came up in the conversation yesterday morning, and then it was in depth explained in this quantum cognition. I think it was in that. I listened to 2 clips, so I might be blundering them, but they're still coming out of how the mind works. In the conversation, it was like one of my patterns is I look around the corner in the future. I look around a corner. I attempt to. I imagine to. This is blue monkey. The blue monkey. In my explanation, this is the blue monkey. The blue monkey is the antipode, the furthest away from the red dragon. If the blue monkey doesn't work, the red dragon doesn't work. You understand? They need to work together. If the intention gets initiated and then the manifestation blocks fear, the child doesn't come out. It's like, ooh, how to explain, the monkey, if the child doesn't want to be born, or there's an explain it, just I'll go into explaining this way, then creation doesn't happen. We in very practical terms, we can become stuck. We're not evolving, we're not moving, we're not growing, we're not expanding, we're not exploring, we're not letting go, we're not dying. We get kind of like stuck. They explained it also that this in quantum cognition, it's not that they said it's not that we like stalling on decision making, which in one field you can explain it looks like that, but they say we are holding. Indecision is holding a quantum position of multiple possibilities, and we haven't yet collapsed on one. And the reason we don't can be that we're afraid if we make a choice and collapse on this, it would appear that we may be afraid, what about the other paths? They are then no longer accessible to us. And there is an assumption of loss, an assumption of if we collapse on this possibility, we've closed the other possibilities and they are forever closed to us. That is what logic would dictate. If you're going to the left, you cannot at the same time go to the right. You can go down to the left and explore, and then if you understand, in time I can turn back and go down to the right and explore, it's not so difficult. But with sort of major life decisions, am I going to marry you or not? If I marry you, if I don't marry you, either way, it excludes the other possibility, like by totality. It's not possible to have the other path. And like they gave some, in the quantum field, we can hold and like we're test driving, which is why often in dreams we dream certain possibilities. Often we don't remember our dreams, but in the dream field, like daydream, daydream is more closer to our cognitive, our manifested current reality, but the night dream is we're really in the field and we can test all possibilities and then pop up with a decision. It's a very interesting, anybody who has issues with indecision, or it's not even, it's sometimes it's like not, it could be good advice to understand you don't have an indecision. It's just the moment to collapse the wave function, or the moment to collapse into reality hasn't come yet. There's still exploration happening on another level, and that's all right. I love that. I don't know if I've made this understandable at all, but I get it. To me, it's like it's a sort of. I want to speak about this thing that came up in the conversation. So I imagine Blue Monkey. I imagine like, okay, 3 steps down the line, what's going to happen, or what could happen, and if I imagine, a problem. This is how it came up in the conversation. I kind of seem to anticipate a problem, and therefore I don't even want to take a decision here, even though between here and that problem is a path. We don't know what could happen. That problem may happen, that situation might happen, or it might not. If it happens, we deal with it. If it doesn't, we've got life, right? Now, it was, it's not new, but in the Skywalker, in the galactic sun yesterday, that opening portal to understanding, at least for me, like how does my consciousness, how does my thinking, how do I work, how does it work, what am I doing? The light went on, and it's like, you're right. And the implications are very deep, because if I can anticipate a problem anywhere, where do I go from there? So it can, let's live in the moment and only be here can become an escape route. The blue night on the Skywalker, it can become an escape to like, I don't make any decisions. I stay in eternal superposition. Sooner or later I'll collapse. It's not a problem. It's just, there isn't ever a problem. Everything is a choice. Everything is always a choice I am making. Even if I'm not making a choice, I'm making the choice to stay in quantum position. I keep that possibility, I keep the options open. That's one way to look at it. But that's not what came up in that conversation. And I'm not confusing that. That's like, I'm anticipating problems. So if between my boyfriend and me, he wants to go ahead with a project that kind of involves us both, and I see the problems he wants to drive, and he wants to go and I don't. And I was like, this is really... And then should the problem or a problem come, I can stand there and say, see, I knew. But he's like, I don't think about the possible problems, because when they come, we solve them. And that is how we grow. That is how we go. I don't see a failure. I just see a situation I deal with, grow from, move on from. And everything about him is living proof. And but I saw that pattern. So in that video that I listened to, that, I don't know, what are they? Anyway, it said, experiments have shown, they made an example of a game you can play, and option A is you play and you win. Option B is you play and you lose. both options mean you can, after that, I mean, you can play again or whatever. Like, they found when you know you're going to win, before to make a choice, are you going to play again? If you know you're going to win, you can choose, yes, I'm going to play again. If you know you're going to lose, we also can choose. Many people also choose, yes, we're going to play again. If the outcome is not known, are you going to win or lose? A lot of decision is we opt out. We don't play at all. I hope I'm not butchering this, but the point was logic would dictate. If when you know the outcome, it's binary, it's an either or, but when you know it, it's either A or B, you're going to decide to play again when you know the outcome, either outcome. So in both trajectories, you're going to play again. So no matter what happens, you are going to play again. Would mean, by logical conclusion, if you don't know the outcome, your decision also has to be, I'm going to play again, because no matter which outcome, it's going to make me want to play again. I'm going to play again. That's what logic would say. But what actually happens is not that. Most decisions, when the outcome, the first step, is not known, the decision is made not to engage at all. Like, we don't play anymore. We step out. They had other examples for it. I'm not going to make this too long now. But the point made is the uncertainty principle. Yeah, if I don't know something in between, it's very strange because it doesn't make any logical sense, even to me. But it explains perfectly to me, okay, if I anticipate a problem, or it's not even that I may anticipate a problem, if I talk through it, and it's like, okay, whatever the outcomes are, problems, then I make a different decision. Whereas if I stand here and I don't know the way to, whatever, I don't know if I'm making sense of this, but it is so logical. It's so quantum logical. And it's like so good to know this, like, if I want to bring something into the world, if I want to change something that already exists, I need the blue storm. Or whatever, I need the blue signs, right? It's so Tolkien. It's like you refine, they said it also, you make a decision, then you refine. The white signs are the refiners, the blue signs are the testing until it works. It's testing. That's why transformation is the testing process. It's like it's testing it until it holds, until it actually works. Aha, now when it holds, the yellow signs are the ripeners. That's like, now, okay, now we develop it further. Now we have a thing that works. Now we add it to the field, and now it can become a workable thing. And that's a changing process. So for the longest time, mathematicians or scientists or any of us work with concepts that are working. But when we change dimension and we find out, but wait a minute, this is not working here. How come? So what works instead? When we want to create something, red dragon and the blue monkey is not working. It's creating illusions of danger or fears it doesn't understand, it can't handle. It will cause the circle of life. If we keep it to this very small, simple, binary dragon monkey, there are all the other musketeers around those two. The helpers, the occult is very important. They can teach us how to release the bind, to get the dragon flowing, to get creation flowing, to come unstuck. It might require a quantum jump. But when we're holding on to information and are not allowing it to be updated. When we move through the Tzolk'in, when you really consciously use this module, it gets you unstuck, inevitably. Or it can show you how to come unstuck. It can lead to, and then since it's the quantum field, it activates exactly the partial fields that bring to you exactly the answers or the guides or the frequency or the resonance that we need. In this, the Skywalker, and this we can map onto every wave spell between the Skywalker now, to be the explorer of what has already been created is automatically going to create, because the dragon on the solar tone, this pulsation between realizing and intending, that is automatic. It's always happening. It's the engine of creation. There's no way of stopping it. It happens anyway. It happens all the time. Whether we're stalling or not, we're still creating. Even if we're just staying in superposition, we're still, everything is always in motion. When we're skywalking, bringing heaven to earth is a simplicity, like how do we experience life satisfying? How are we satisfied with life? How is it we are a benefit? I mean, that is anyway what we are. The disturbances in, I don't want to talk about the shadow right now. I want to really focus on we are life expressing itself. I don't want to bring any judgment into this right now, although judgment is a major player, not to be judged against. It's just which parameters are we using for judgment? Back to are we deserving or not? These are parameters for judgment we're using. Very important to understand. Like, yeah, how? What are they? What are we? Can we need? Sometimes we need to explore these parameters to understand. Hey, we're judging against ourselves. We're keeping ourselves away from achieving our dreams, following our dreams, achieving our dreams. And if we don't explore, we may never realize some of these dreams are just complete illusions. It's like you dream of lots of money, you dream of being a superstar because you think it's just all fun and games and the whole world loves you. No, it's not. And it's by all means not as easy as it looks like. Just stand there, sing great, look good. It's also easy. Everything, like that. Though the illusions to reality, but reality is much more beautiful and much easier than we've been taught also. So to investigate into what are our judgments, what are the parameters by which we live, what are the abilities we believe we have, what is the jurisdiction we believe we have, what are the powers we believe we have, who are we? It comes back down to definition. And these parameters are essential to the Skywalker. Based on those parameters, the Skywalker skywalks. So moving through the Tzolk'in expands this all the time, and refines it. And where we resonate, what resonates with us, the blue storm in this case, the tone 7. If we're wanting to birth something new, to rebirth ourselves, we do it all the time. So we can ask ourselves, what is the succession of rebirths through a lifetime? What has it been when a person is sitting at the age of 75, highly demented, no longer capable of looking after themselves? In that situation, how do we one paradigm says, takes the gives no responsibility to the person and says it's just, I don't know, the biology, amyloid plaques, whatever happens wherever in the brain, in the biology, it starts to malfunction, and therefore, and there's little you can do about it. Another paradigm says, well, it's based on maybe nutrition and movement, there's something you can do about it. Another paradigm says it's based on the decisions we've made. So the quantum cognition would be, what decisions have we collapsed? Who's the observer? Who is the person? Have they gotten themselves over a course of decisions and reduced their ability to collapse on anything workable? So they end up collapsing by default on something. If we assume there is always a chooser inside each human, what is the progression of choices that leads there? And are they still getting what they've chosen? Are they still getting what they want? Maybe a total opting out of responsibility. I don't know. How do we choose? How do we, if every moment the Skywalker, the tone 13 is the serpent, so it's the body. How do we optimally incarnate this body, rebirth? How does this serpent body that we have, shedding skin, shedding the old to remain vital in every way, or in the way we're meant to be, let's put it that way. How do we, what does it take? And this wave spell tells us. It takes it starts with the Skywalker, who is of course a progression. The Skywalker in us, skywalking, the principle of skywalking, whatever, is both realization and intention, pulsing. There is a solar Skywalker, of course, in the wave spell of the serpent. Wait a minute, am I talking crap? It has to be red. It has to be two red signs before it comes the red moon, and before that is a red serpent. So yeah, is that beautiful? So the solar dragon, which you have today, the birth nurture being, in pulses, we are doing that. And if we're, if the resonant storm, catalyst, energize, auto-generate that resonance, we're in resonance, in harmonious resonance with ourselves, with life, with our choices, with our realizations and our intentions. If that rhythm is it steady? Maybe it doesn't need to be steady, it should be steady. Music is pleasing when the rhythm is steady. There are modulations, we can modulate rhythm, but if the rhythmic modulations happens like every 3 seconds, I think it's a very, very unquiet, then we can't really speak of rhythm. Rhythm requires time, or rhythm builds time, I suppose. I don't know. The heartbeat of the universe is that left, right, that automatically introduces some kind of time. Magnetism is somehow, seems to me like time. Anyway, I'm meandering around, but to realize that we are always realizing, making real our intentions, suggests to me we can never be a victim. We are always the ones who have made choices, yellow human, we have aligned with options, we have aligned with choices, we have collapsed a superposition or aligned with a collapse. And the blue storm, there's that little dot in the bottom left corner, and then there's a line that goes up to the quantum field. I mean, if we lay this thing down on the floor, the glyph, if we look at it as a human standing upright and we place it in front of us, it would suggest the bottom left and the cloud is on top of the glyph. If we put the glyph on the floor, to describe the glyph, we would still talk spatially bottom left, but it's now the corner closest to me to my left, and then the line goes up to a seeming cloud or a cell cluster or a cluster of ideas or whatever it may be that is further away from me. If I turn the glyph on its head and look at it upside down, it changes, the perspective changes. So there's a one dot over here, a singularity that is maybe made manifest, connected to the field of all possibilities. And there's also that one dot up there. And if this line is like our antenna or our path of reception or some kind of path of choice, we cannot say we have not chosen. To me, it's deeply empowering to understand everything, to live in the paradigm where everything I live, I have somehow chosen. Now, saying that, I don't define my I as limited to the third dimensional being that I am. I have third dimensional thinking, I have third dimensional feeling, I have third dimensional biology. I refer that I to something much more quantum, much more spanning all lifetimes, all fields. It is the I am that has collapsed into this. I mean, oh man. So how's that practical in I've made it practical. So the decisions, if I anticipate a problem or I've learned to anticipate problems, I may end up making no decisions at all. I may end up staying. It may feel as if I'm stuck. If I feel stuck, that means there's a drive in me towards something. There is a collective pool of intentions that are pushing in me, that want to move, but something else in me is equally strong. This would be the lunar tone, maybe the lunar skywalker in the yellow human wave spell, maybe the lunar dragon or the lunar monkey in the dog's wave spell, the lunar dragon in the sun's wave spell, something worth thinking about. Definitely for me as a sun, the dragon lunar, if the release can't happen for some reason, I'm also, practically speaking, not allowing myself to go to that expanded version because maybe I can't see the path. Maybe my goal is not just the next step, which I can see, which I can go. Maybe my goal is somewhere further, I can't see the path, and therefore I decide not to move until the path becomes clear. But very often, the path only appears once we've let go of this, once we've released. Then the trajectory, and that is the magic. That's why in the Skywalker, the wizard is on the lunar tone, if the magician doesn't, if we don't release into the unknown, not always, but sometimes the path is clear, we go, then we don't have a problem. We're not stuck. Here's the path, here's the step, that's where I'm going. I'm going to the supermarket. There's no problem. We don't sit at home like, I don't know, how to know, no. We just get dressed and go. But if we can't see the path, sometimes we're like, ah. And that can be soothed or understood, or that's the wizard, like, and the solar dragon. The dragon also stands for trust, primal trust. And if that's not happening, if I don't see the path from here to my intention, and I assume there could be some danger, something I can't see, something I can't control, then the wizard doesn't work in the Skywalker. We're in the Skywalker here. I could map this over any other wave spell, and I surely will again. Right now we're here. The lunar wizard doesn't, the magic doesn't work. We're not letting go. We're not trusting. We're not surrendering. Remember, the serpent is also attached to the wizard. And the focus is attached to the wizard, and the blue hand is attached. Am I right? To the wizard. Let me not talk crap, but I think I'm right. Yeah. And in this wave spell, the wizard is guided by the white world bridger. Death, white death, opportunity, equalize. We have to let go of the one to go to the other. Not always. You don't have to let go of your husband in order to have a child. But you may have to let go of lover A in order to marry lover B. You may have to let go of being single in order to be in relationship. You may have to let go of this moment in order to enter the next moment. You may not. You may forever stay in the eternal now. Yeah, I'm not trying to make this, what I mean? But like the decision-making process, and to understand what kind of, I have 5 ingredients. I may not have to let go of any of them. I can use all 5 to create a meal. But if I have meat and vegetables, and I want to make a vegetarian meal, I have to let go of the meat. And if I believe no, like for example, making the decision to be a vegetarian, a lot of me might say, yeah, I should. But something in me says, I can't let go of meat. Maybe it's because I can't let go of bacon, or because I feel I lose something, or God knows whatever it is. Then I may have a conflict. If I don't want to become vegetarian, I have no conflict. I eat what I eat. If I want to be a vegetarian because I believe it would be better if I were, it's the healthier option, or whatever, then I am in with the in crowd, or God knows what, a lot of reason to want anything. But there is this but then I have to give up something that is dear to me, or something I believe is my safety zone or my comfort zone, or whatever, then there's a conflict, and then we sometimes don't move. And there we are holding a superposition, the intention of whatever we want in the concept of vegetarianism, and the intention and realization or whatever but I don't want to not be eating meat. And if that conflict can't be resolved, we're hanging between the chairs. And in certain cases, that'll cause disease, because it's an uneasy place to be. You can't be wanting, the body it's the fight and flight, it's the nervous system. If it needs to fight, if it believes it needs to fight or run, and it can't, it causes the lock. And the worst is, one of the options that can then happen, you check out. The system pretends it's dead. You just remain physically alive in an untenable situation, and a part of you checks out. Soul splitting, dissociation. that can become, over time, a self, the tone 4. The storm comes to loosen that in the Skywalker. Resonant, to allow change. And if the storm, if the fear is so strong that the storm can't loosen it, the situation, the negative, the unwanted situation we may be in, or the stalemate may become stronger and stronger. But then we will come up with, I mean, gosh, we're creative beings. I'm not going to explore this further now because that's like our own investigation. So bringing in the richness of life, the richness of the Skywalker, the exploration, keeping things in superposition or collapsing them into an experience, understanding in the quantum field. When we have a quantum understanding, quantum cognition, quantum understanding helps us understand we can make any decision at any point in time. In the quantum field, the superpositions may in this version of reality have collapsed and therefore cancelled out other options, but the other options exist in other timelines, and we can timeline jump, and we do any time. And we are weavers. The Tzolk'in people who do this are in the Tzolk'in dream spell, they're called weavers, time dream spell weavers, dream weavers. We are weaving. We're doing this all the time. If you're not in the Tzolk'in, you're still a dream weaver, because we're weaving timelines all the time. And if we land up in a knot, if we've weaved a knot, we will undo it, even if it requires death to undo it. Death is always the undoing of the knot. Let go. You can do it in a way that sheds skin and the body remains healthy. The soul always remains healthy. The whole body and life system is like the lived reality is the already shed skin. It's lived, experienced, exhausted. It's like a sweet you've sucked and ingested. It's like it's gone. That's why it's history, it's gone. That's one way of looking at it. It's the life experience that's been had. All the other options are still third dimensionally experienceable options. They never disappear as options. And to realize that really, really deeply removes, it changes a lot. I mean, it just, it opens up the field of superposition. It opens up every field of possibility, whatever that means to you right now. Whatever that means, it means for the Skywalker, the dreams, the Blue Knight, he's attached to that. Even if it's the furthest away, the dream field might feel as if it's the furthest away from the third dimensional reality, from the experienced reality. It's not only third dimensional, from the experienced reality, but it is interwoven. It's right in it. It's right here. All the dreams are vibrating in the quantum field. You don't have a long, far distance to anything else. For some reason, this is turning longer than I wanted to be. We're back to an hour. I wanted to touch on black holes and the event horizon, because I have this, if we are the, I'm just going to say this out loud so that maybe your thoughts are going to add themselves to my quantum field. If we are the event horizon, the black hole being a gravity, they say, the language they use is something gets, what is that language? Oh, I have it here. The event horizon, it gets stuck, wait. Gravitational field. No, we're not going there. Stop. that's going to open up a whole can of worms. I'm going to talk about black holes at some other time, because I mean, that's just, those must be portals to other dimensions. And but I'm myself in such a different dimension right now that I can't even wrap my mind around that now. It would take time. But the reason I found it relevant was because this cauldron, the dream field, the black hole may be that space where everything that isn't, if everything that isn't manifest in this observable reality, because remember, a black hole exists only to us observing a black hole. To anyone who can observe it, to anyone else it wouldn't exist. I suppose. But if we can observe it and we're looking out, we're observing that they are everywhere. They're inside of us. When we are observing the universe out there, we are just observing that which we can project. We are dealing with our own inner selves projected to an outer third dimensional experienceable reality. So the event horizon is ultimately you. We are this event horizon because we are that which has collapsed the wave function. That's what we are. That's what experienced reality is. Experienceable collapse of wave function is the event horizon. It is the absolute, and the non-experienced is a direct reflection of the experienced, in as much as non-existence is the direct opposite of existence. But it is also existence, but not in the field of existence, which is the dimensions we can experience. So it is the opposite, but in that opposite lies the possibility for everything else that is not this, or any other combination of this and anything else that isn't this. You know what I mean? Oh, I can see how the mathematics works for this. I can see now, I understand how they can work with infinity, how infinity can fit into mathematical equations. A few days ago, I was like, how the fuck does this work? How can you put infinity? I mean, hello, infinity. But that's me being in a manifest reality where yeah, but infinity also has a place here too now. Now suddenly infinity has taken on a reality that I can no longer take out of any equation. Now it has to be in every equation. You can't take it out anymore. And that's just beautiful. Oh my goodness. Oh fuck. I mean, seriously. That's beautiful. So that has set my tone for the day. Let's see what nurturance of what is, being everything, nurturing our dreams, giving birth to whichever parts of the dreams that are ready to be birthed now. Otherwise, dreaming the dream. It's a form of birthing it in a different reality. In the quantum field, we can birth it already by dreaming it, knowing there are infinite number of dreams we haven't even dreamed yet, and yet in the quantum field every dream is being dreamed. Every dream is being. Every dream is being. Everything bees in the quantum field. That's the dragon. And we come in, we engage with the dragon. We're not separate from the ocean, we're the waves. So the ocean it produces us, and we have this individualized, separate from something else point of consciousness, which this separation so often causes pain. I wonder if right now I have the feeling if I keep this up, I will never ever experience the pain of separation, because it isn't real. There is no separation. It is just an order of reality where my perception allows me to be separate from the plant, separate from the bottle, separate from the computer, separate from the table, separate from the room, separate from you. That separation is a beautiful, brilliant, polar opposite to absolute unity. And in this manifested reality of separation, separate consciousnesses, separate identities, where they can interact, my identity, my sense of self, my Hunapku, my central source, interacts with yours and still knows it interacts with itself. And therein lies for me, there need not ever be a conflict, because the infinite field of possibilities holds the possibility, the wherewithal to make all of your dreams come true and all of mine. No need for conflict. So if we're both in love with the same man, and you want to marry him and I want to marry him, in this field that would seem a bit of a conflict, but the field of, and maybe an impossibility, but in the field of infinite potentialities, there are solutions. There are possibilities for this. Several, I mean, infinite. Which one are we choosing? Which one are we collapsing on? Are we collapsing on, this is a conflict, this is an impossible situation, we have to fight? Or are we going to find a solution? What is your mind doing right now? I wonder. But this is a conundrum we often face within ourselves. How do we reconcile what appears to us as irreconcilable options? I can't be male and female at the same time. Or can I? If my body is female, I can innerly express the male. If I know how to. I don't know if I need to know how to. Maybe this is the way nature works anyway. I mean, we are male and female just because my body expresses the female. And then I'm always looking for my counterpart who is me, who expresses the male. When you find that, and it's not in my books just in one person. It is in every male, because I am every female. The female is and the male is the one expressed in two. The lunar wizard, the lunar serpent, the lunar everything, automatically. One collapses, but the other also collapses. The other, and in this duality, we can experience the collapsed wave function of polar opposites. Hence a male body and hence a female body. Oh, so, oh man, it's actually really elegant to grasp. There is an elegant solution, and and that even holding the superposition and not yet making a decision can be elegant. When we start to suffer, when we spend too long in a frequency of I don't want this, resistance, well, it strengthens our storms. The storm will rage until everything is destroyed, until everything that stands in the way of the desire, it will destroy either the desire or the obstacles. Or some possibilities, who knows what it does. But the resonant storm and this wave spell for those Skywalker, like it rages, you know. If you're the eye of the storm, you use the energy of the storm to achieve your goal, consciously or unconsciously. Life always achieves its goal. Superposition, everything is. There is no mistake. It's never, life never not achieves. Every dream is realized. How are you realizing yours? How am I realizing mine? Where are my blocks in the way? Where are my obstacles? Where am I not running? Where am I not allowing my being to be birthed? my birth to give rise to my being? Where am I stalling? Where am I blocking? Where am I waiting? Where am I in superposition, waiting for a better opportunity? More strength, more beauty, more faith, more skill, more alignment. Where am I right to do so? Where is it wisdom? And where is it fear? Who helps us? The yellow sun and the white dog. And they are each other's antipodes in exactly the same way the dragon is the antipode to the blue monkey, in the same way the skywalker, the explorer of space, awake explorer of space and time and experience and dreams, has to be merged in with the sleeper, the non-wakeful. It's a part of him. In the same way the storm is merged with the moon. How is that an antipodal position? Antipodal. That is really interesting. I didn't go into that deeply. We will explore that in the wave spells of either moon or both moon and storm. We will explore both of those wave spells deeply to understand that antipodal position and the occult. Right now we're in the Skywalker wave spell, so I feel I've deeply gone into that. The pulsar is being explored. We're navigating, synchronizing. Remember Red Earth? It's the command center. Yeah, I've been there. We've got that. And the serpent, I've been there. We've got that. I've got that. And the Skywalker has the star on tone 13, the cosmic star, as its occult medicine. So the magnetic night has the cosmic mirror as its antipode. Let me just double check that that is correct. I need to go here. Exactly. So these relationships, the cosmic mirror is, yeah, well, that's another whole podcast, another episode worth just exploring that. We'll get there in the night. So the star, art, beauty, harmony, elegance, elegant solutions, elegant manifestation, manifesting beauty, manifesting harmony within ourselves will then automatically manifest out there. Do I need to go back to black holes? And who's the analog? The best friend, the world bridger, of course. Letting go and bridging the worlds. The Skywalker best friend energy bridges the worlds between day and night, between heaven and earth, between wanted and unwanted, between problem and solution, between two opposing solutions, between choices. That's the world bridger. Totally the quantum field. Oh, and the world bridger is part of the earth family of the dragon. So they share the resources or something. Red dragon, white world bridger, blue monkey, and yellow warrior. I'm not diving into the earth family scene now, but those four are another four musketeers, and that are working together, that are expressing something with very shared resources. Oh my goodness. I am gonna love and leave us here. The red dragon, wait, the analog. We have the white mirror again on the red dragon, the analog, which is the antipode to the yellow star, which is the occult of the Skywalker. So if you really want to quantumize your mind, you hold these concepts at the same time, let them resonate at the same time, and like music, like instruments playing tunes, like instruments playing notes, different instruments playing different notes. What is the music that it creates? It's a creative process. We can follow the Tzolk'in and look at and map it over what already exists, and we can use it as a creational tool and put together Crayon's term is put together unequally yoked entities, form harmonic music, create harmony between, create music, harmonic music with instruments, with tones, with tonalities that have not yet been put together, or that you have not yet put together, to try out something new. That's the Skywalker. That's this creative process, and the Skywalker just enjoys doing just that for its own sake. And that's like, what is fun? What do I love? What do I enjoy? That's the skywalking process. It's not a rigid creating, I have to have a lot of money because the society dictates, I have to have that job because my father thinks I should, or I have. It's all about fun. And where do you experience the fun now? What does the child do? It plays now. It doesn't say, oh, tomorrow I'm going to play. It can say, tomorrow we're having fun, yeah? And if it does too much of that, it might become disgruntled and cry, why can't I have that already? But usually kids are pretty good at playing something fun today and looking forward to playing something fun tomorrow. You know, it's like, but when school comes into the picture, it's like, oh my God, why do I have to do this shitty homework? Why do I have to go to school? Why do I have to do something that's not fun at all? And postpone having fun. And what does it mean in growing up to get this balance right between responsibility and how do we make the responsibility fun, but not be in this constant childish state of, I only want to have fun. I want to shirk all my responsibility. Why should I clean my house? That's not fun. Why should I do anything that's not fun? So the enjoy, that's why being in alignment with our truth is so vital, because the path of fun, so to speak, the path of enjoyment, the path of least resistance will allow us to be hardworking, to put in the so-called effort. The effort is going to be fun the minute the pursuit is our truth, the minute the pursuit is the realization of a dream. Then we're going to want to do, if that is our truth, we're going to want to put in, if I want to have $1 million, but I believe what I have to do to get that is going to be so much hard work, I don't want to do that, then I'm not going to do it. If I believe, oh, it's fun and easy, this I'm going to do, this I'm going to do, this is playful, it's easy to make $1 million. I mean, my goodness. I mean, just that stuff is lying around on the street. It's the easiest thing in the world to achieve whatever dream I have. Just do it. It's easy. Every dream is easy to achieve. We just may not realize that we haven't got, like whatever is it stands in the way. Skywalk, explore. That process. Have fun already. Have fun already. Enjoy already. Know your truth. The mirror is so important to birth your truth. The mothering dragon. And it would be so helpful if mothers could just allow their children to express their truth and to mother that, to be to hold space for that, and allow the child the grace to learn how to be its own truth. But that can only happen if the mother is her own truth. Then it's easy. Otherwise we introduce quite a bit of static, disturbance, blockage, but that's where we are at oftentimes. At least I can see it in myself. Hence I reflect that. Hence everyone I meet can somehow resonate with that. I seem to not really, I don't know, but we are all capable of dissolving our dissonance. We're all capable of that. There is one tonal progression it starts with an I. perfect chord, what is it called? I forget now. It's not unresolved. It's an unresolved chord that when you hear an unresolved chord, everything in you just says, nah, nah, and it doesn't. It can never work without what comes before. The unresolved chord has to have something that comes before. If I play you an unresolved chord, you're not going to know it's unresolved chord because you haven't heard what comes before. The what comes before tells me this is unresolved, and the unresolved chord really yearns for resolution. And resolution, when the chord resolves, it causes a cascade in the biology. Now order is restored. But the tension of the unresolved chord is also a very powerful, it creates a new field. Oh, this musical analogy is like a big thing. And when I bring that one into the quantum, it can incorporate. If I bring the quantum into that one, it can't incorporate. And I'm experiencing a clash of, I'm currently feeling it's an unresolved chord. I'm feeling it. Oh, but there is a resolution. Foo, bingo. Yeah. I at least have come full circle. I don't know where you are at. I'm going to send this off. I somehow don't seem to manage to make less than an hour. But in any case, I wish us a nurturing day to understand anyway we're giving birth to ourselves all of the time, to align ourselves through nurturing our own highest good, everyone's highest good, the world's highest good. Just bring light, nurturance into life and allow everything to be what it is. Even if a great evil has birthed itself in your judgment, understand that it is just your judgment that may not have the full picture, and if you can't change it, then it's not maybe yours to change. Follow your bliss, follow your dream, what would you birth into this world? How would the world look like if it were up to you? And then dream that into existence. Spend time in that dream and feel how good that makes you feel. And then enjoy that, because when you do that and you feel that good feeling, you resonate red earth on tone 5 in this wave spell of the Skywalker. You bring heaven to earth. You resonate that frequency of your joy that you really feel in your body. It resonates the serpent, it resonates the earth, it resonates the frequency of joy, of light, of whatever you consider positive. You are entitled to do that. Maybe it's your responsibility to do that. You have free will to resonate whatever frequency you want. The frequency you resonate will shine out into your world and will be reflected back to you. The world always reflects your dominant frequencies and your non-dominant frequencies back to you. What is your dominant reflection? And if that reflection will enforce the frequency, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Be careful, be aware. If you want to change something, go into the frequency and change it there. And then the creative birthing process, the reflection, you will birth your own reflections. We birth our reflection. It's a joyful, magnificent process. We can look into the fields of infinite possibility, where people bring out of that field amazing new things onto this planet. The AI, ChatGPT, if you like it or not. If you don't, it reflects back to you your fear, perhaps. If you like it, it reflects back. ChatGPT is it's a mirror. It's a quantum mirror of some kind. Or maybe it's not quantum, but it's a field mirror. It's a you mirror. Engage with it deeply, and let it reflect you back to you. It's amazing. It's incredible. It's beautiful. And so is every other being on this planet. They reflect you back. Are you at peace with the dissonance? Are you at peace with where you are not who you believe you are, or where you are not who you want to be? Are you okay with your own duality, polarities? Are you forming complementary relationships with your own polar opposite internal aspects? Is the female in you at peace with the male in you? Is the light at peace with the dark? Oh, yesterday I drew the Hermit and the Tarot, and I could clearly see in the Thoth Tarots very beautifully. I mean, it's the one I've got in mind now. He puts his light, his lantern, his sun, his consciousness. He doesn't focus on it. It's in his hand. It's there. It exists. He holds it for everyone else to follow, but he himself follows into the dark, the potential of the egg, of the unborn, of life itself. And to see the light, you have to enter the darkness. You have to go into the dark. If you're in the light, if you are the light, you can't see it. Only through darkness can you see it. And that is so simple. To really embody that. And this card, you can look it up, Thoth Tarot, the Hermit. The corns bend in, the whole space around him is corns, is denoted by corns. The nurturance he needs for his life, the sustenance for his existence, it bends in towards him. It comes to him. And he creates, and the egg is also there, the infinite potential, the infinite becoming of life, of wisdom, of life exploring itself, infinitely rebirthing itself in myriad forms, ever and ever and ever again. It's you, every moment. That's you, that's you, that's you, that's now, that's now, that's now, that's now, that's now. That's light and dark. That's the pulse of intention and realization. The solar dragon. The solar dragon. Boom, 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 boom. It's who you are. It's who life is. It's who everything is. And you can choose to engage with that everything on any level you want. On any level you choose. And that's exactly what we're doing. And it's magnificent. It is absolutely magnificent. We are magnificent. And as really just a human being, to learn, how do I change my reality? How do I change my health? How do I change my state of finance? How do I change my lack to abundance? How do I change my inability, or the belief in my inability, to a belief in my ability? How do I change my inability to an ability? How do I heal? How do I transform? How do I be who I am, unencumbered by whatever hindrances I create, the field creates, others create, whatever way I look at that? Where is my resolution? Where is my solution? Where is my power? What is it I draw upon? Do I pray to an external God? Do I pray to an internal God? Do I believe in my own empowerment? Do I do it myself? Am I powerless? Am I confused? Am I trying out different things in superposition and not yet fully collapsed on any one because I haven't really made that decision fully yet? Is life trying to point me in a different direction from where I'm forcefully heading? Is my own guidance system nudging me somewhere else? What's going on? Am I willing to explore? Do I need to actively? Sometimes I just need to calm still. Lunar wizard in the Skywalker wave spell. Sometimes the Skywalker wants to be very active, doing, exploring. And sometimes it's like, hold on, just chill. Receive. Don't do anything. And that might be a challenge. It might be challenging to just be receiving the information and not do anything. Keep your feet still. This is not a time to make a decision. This is the time to be in superposition because the field is still forming itself. You may be ready. The field is not. The other moving parts aren't here yet. They're not ready. Wait. If you make this decision now, you're going to cause hell. And if you force it, you're going to experience that. Wait. And how to have the wisdom, yellow human, cosmic human was the one before the Skywalker. The cosmic human has that wisdom, yellow sun wave spell, to know to know, to be in alignment with a knowing or a resonance. Blue storm attached to the sun, red dragon attached to the sun in the middle on tone 8 of this wave spell, testing integrity of the sun, testing integrity of the cosmic human in the Skywalker. It's not a test you fail, you flunked. It's just like a learning, a weaving, a growing. All right, I understand a little more. I can do a little more. I can love a little more. I can surrender a little more. I can let go a little more. I get it a little more. It's growth. It's expansion, it's growth. It's realization, pulsing intention. It's intentions, pulsing realizations. It's the pulse, intending realizations, realizing intentions, realizing intentions. Doof, bingo. All right. If you've made it to here, I hope you are thoroughly inspired to just be this moment, every moment in time. Aho.